Hello, 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 and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I know I have not filmed in a hot minute, and that has just kind of been my own fault. I've been a little bit uninspired in the ASMR content creation, I suppose. I've been doing a lot of bookish things, so I have been active there, just not so much here. But tomorrow is actually going to be a huge update in Palia. I am very excited for it. And since there's going to be a whole change with the housing line and everything, I thought I could give a tour of what my house looks like currently before all the changes take place. So let me get the game loaded up and we can do a little mini tour. Here on the loading screen you can see how my character looks currently. So she is in this gorgeous outfit that I won through my friend Wade's mystery outfit giveaway, and I've been really wanting this outfit, so I was so excited when I got it. It definitely gives me those poison ivy vibes, just with the color variation that I have. And then I kept a flower crown on top because I felt like it was very fitting. I haven't logged in for a little bit, just a couple of days, so gotta claim my points. But here is my house currently, just giving you a very rough overview. I have a lot of empty spaces. I didn't really finish up a lot of stuff. So let's see, how do we... Alright, so just starting off with a front main entrance. Over here you can see I have the little teleporting board up here. I ended up going and placing some large terraces and yeah, put my board over there so it kind of lined up. I was also planning on going and building something out here, but just didn't really get to it. As you can see, my decor limit is still under, so I do have the ability to go and build more. And then over here, I kind of have like a little sitting area. That was kind of a temporary thing. I had something else planned that I would build here, but of course didn't get to that either. And then over here, you can see how I kind of have my shipping bin set up, and I have a little free library. So if you read it, it just says little free library here. And you know how a little free library works. You can go and take a book, leave a book, things like that. So that's kind of how I have this area set up. I was thinking about doing some sort of glitch for my mailbox, like maybe a tree or something, but just didn't get to that either. And then over here we have my little wooden path that I made. I also have a little fountain over here. I have this little Galder ancient stone statue thing. I've just kind of been leaving it there so I remember to actually pick up the loot that it gives us, which I've been doing horrible at ever since I got it. And then I have this little bridge over here. I think what we'll do first though is we'll go inside and take a look at things there. But I kind of have this little garden area out front. There's a little beetle plush. And then I have some floating candles. I just kind of kept them there after the previous Halloween. I thought it really worked with enchanted cottage vibes, I guess. I don't know necessarily if this is supposed to be like a witchy cottage. Just kind of like dream home, I guess. And then coming in here, as you can see, it's pretty empty. I have this little area over here for sitting area and shelves. I had some ideas for things I wanted to do over here, but obviously didn't get around to it. And then by the front door, I have the potted plant from the most recent patch, and just really didn't get around to doing some things there either. And then over here, kind of glitch things in. So we have a desk And I was kind of thinking like this was a little organizer with ingredients or whatnot. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so this is over here. And then moving over into this room, we have our kitchen. Definitely not finished at all. I had a bunch of different ideas, but kind of left things off here. I think I forgot to mention this is an unfinished current work in progress house tour. And then over here, I was kind of thinking like a cute little breakfast nook. And I have the little candle plush that we got for the anniversary, so I decided to put that there. And then moving over into this next room, this is one of my rooms that I first made when I started playing Palia. So this was my little plant room. And here and there I've updated it with some of the newer items, but for the most part kept it pretty much the same. And I think I kept it this way just for nostalgia purposes. I really loved the concept of this room before things got added, so I just kind of wanted to keep it to remember how things started in the game. Because I played it when it was in closed beta, I believe. So obviously, like, you know, a lot of things have changed and have been added since then. And then let's go upstairs. Also, through the glimpse from the window leading to outside, I realized I left a few things there from past glitching projects that I didn't finish. Then over here we have like a little desk area. I was kind of thinking like this would be our little adventurer corner. So working on things from all of our exploring ventures. And then of course, I'm a huge bookish person, if you can't tell from my bookshelves behind me. So this is one of the many libraries in my plot, and I really love it. I also love this little seating area. And then over here, kind of that same exploration piece, I thought having, you know, these chests over here, a map, and just, it made it seem very explorer-esque, which I loved. And then I kind of started this little trophy area, but didn't finish it. So I was thinking kind of having like trophy things, like more of the rare items this way, just to kind of have those things on display. But a lot of the stuff was like some things that I kind of started and didn't finish. As you'll be able to tell from this house plot tour, I tend to start a lot of projects and don't finish them. Which I think that's probably relatable, you know? You get ideas and inspiration for some pieces and you start working on those projects, not wanting to, you know, forget about them. As you can see, there's some glitching that I've done. I'm still a baby glitcher, so I'm definitely learning a lot of what I'm doing. This is kind of one of the seating areas, lounge areas, these Palcat pillows. I was actually thinking about doing like a little laundry room thing here, and then maybe turning this room into a spa room. I don't know. I think with like the new update, I'm definitely going to probably keep this plot and maybe just remove some of the items that we can't craft. They're questing items. So I was thinking about taking those off of this plot, because I definitely do want to explore things with the new update and everything. But I'm so attached to this plot too at the same time. I don't think I could see it go. And then over here we have another little like library reading room. This is probably one of my favorite rooms in my whole plot too. And a lot of the different items here. I really loved this Magi and Magic kit. I thought it was really cute to have it in this space. And as you can see, there's a bunch of the rare items too that are over in here. I didn't do any glitching in the— whoop, hi Kiko. I didn't do any glitching in this room at all. Whoop. And then moving over into here, I do really like this room. And this is another room that there's no glitching in at all. Then we move over to the bedroom. This is kind of how I have things currently. I have some stone blocks in the back so I can have like a little bit of a headboard. And then I glitched together 2 of the lily rattan beds to make it a little bit bigger. I also did this reading chair because I wanted something that was really comfy and cozy. So I kind of put it together like that, and then this door that would kind of be like a sliding door to go to the outside. And then I kind of glitched this wardrobe vanity. I think it looks really cozy. And then over into this room, we go into our bathroom. So I have some stuff over in this corner, and then our little mirror over here. And then off to the side, we have our bathtub. And I really love plants, so I definitely tried to incorporate a lot of plants into this house. And then over in here, we have our toilet. A lot of, scented candles and whatnot. I wish that there were more toilet options in this game, because I'm not sure if that toilet color would have been my first choice. And then over here would be our way to the outdoors. But I think what I'm going to do is actually take the maze on the outside and kind of show you things that way. So let's head back outside. I really love the way things look this way. Even though this was our default plot, it definitely was one of my favorites. Also, this tree technically shouldn't be here, so I'm just gonna pick that up and get that out of the way. So let's go over to our maze. So this maze that we have over here with the trees took quite some time for me to go and do, because I had to make sure that I had enough of the seeds and then grew them all to the same height. And this was before we had those hedge mazes in a recent update. So kind of had things spread out around it. Then you'd go this way. And I did kind of tear some stuff down, but I'll go and explain that once we get to that portion. And then over here we kind of have a hidden fountain. And like I said, this was all before the hedges were added. And then we have this over here. And then if you go over on this side, you'd find some treasure chests. And then over here is obviously this fountain, probably one of my favorite pieces that I did early on, because we have a bunch of gorgeous flowers. And obviously this backside here was closed off, but I had it open because there was something that I personally planned on doing but didn't get around to. So imagine that part is still closed off. Let's go this way. We have a little path here. This little DIY bird bath I did. And then a seating area right here. Not so much a view at all, but I still liked it. And then there's this other little path over here where you could find this little sundial. So yeah, that was basically like my maze that I made, and I had always planned on making a maze. I really like the idea of like hidden areas. So I did that without obviously doing glitching or anything like that. And this is our conservatory. Not too fancy at all, but cozy. And I did have ideas to go and redo that too, but obviously haven't gotten around to it. Truthfully, I was kind of thinking like with the new update for animal husbandry, that wouldn't be on a new plot. So I'd kind of left a lot of blank spaces here thinking that we'd be able to add it to this plot. So I didn't want to get things too progressed, just so I'd have more room to like move things around and everything. But this was kind of like an outdoor grilling area, not done either. And then I had this little fountain waterfall thing here. And I did tear some stuff up because I am going to redo a few things here. That's kind of how it looks there. And I actually had been planning on doing my own like indoor greenhouse. So I was going to do it with a bunch of the blue butterflies and doing like a whole glitched thing over here, but didn't get around to it. But this door over here is what leads into the bedroom. So basically you'd go out through the bedroom and into your own little indoor garden area, but now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. This could be something that I move on to the new plot when that happens. I'm not quite sure. And then going over here, we have like another little seating area, which I really like. I love a lot of the little glitching things that I've learned and done, but still a baby glitcher and learning how to do quite a few things. Then I have this little area, and it's not out of bounds as you can tell. So this is not glitched here, but I really like this little area. And then going over here is another area that I really enjoy, and it's just this little outdoor seating area. So before, what I had over here was, oh, what is it called? The Kilima courtyard. So over here I actually had the Kilima courtyard, and then you'd go out here. But I obviously changed it. I didn't keep that piece anymore because I was thinking about doing like a glassed greenhouse. And maybe that's something that I can add if that comes with a new housing line at some point. Because unfortunately we can't retroactively use it for this area at all. So yeah, trying to figure things out here. And then moving over here, this is where you're going to see some glitching things that I was working on. So I was glitching these stone pillars with these nettle flowers, and I was going to use it for my glitched greenhouse that I was going to make over there. But obviously I stopped because current update and waiting for things there. And a lot of this stuff I kind of left as open spaces because, you know, we didn't know what was the plan with a lot of this new update for animal husbandry. We were told that it was going to be added, but a lot of us didn't know what was going to happen. So I wanted to leave a lot of wiggle room to go and figure that stuff out. So yeah, a lot of these areas were left empty. Like this area over here, I had thought like, yeah, we could do animal stuff over here because it's not much going on. I was also thinking about doing a dock thing over here, like glitching a little dock. And I have obviously this little waterfall feature here. It took a hot minute to go and get done, but I really love it. But now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. So that's there. And then we can go over towards my workshop. So here we are in main part of our workshop. I think what we'll do first is we'll go upstairs. So as you can see, I have some chests here. And then going up here, I originally had hoped on putting a lot of my regular chests up here, but they tend to glitch out whenever you leave your plot. And so obviously I couldn't keep putting them back just for them to move again. So a lot of these treasure chests I decided to put up here with some of the plushies. And then I have some potato pods and things over here. This is just basically like my attic space. So this is how it looks. I've had to redo it 3 times because I kept accidentally removing rooms and getting a lot of stuff out of here. I have to try to see if I can fix this little hole here again, but it hasn't been a huge priority for me. And then going over into this room, this is part of our workshop. So we have some chests here, our crafting stuff, where I draw out all the plans to do things and explore, you know, all that fun stuff. And then going over into this room, this is kind of where our smelters are. So I have this here, and this is one of the rooms that is guilty of destroying my attic space, so I won't be moving these things around again unless I want to change things. And then we have a lot of our other machines over here. And then over in this room, we have our preserves, our seed makers, and our worm bins. So as you can see, there's so much empty space on my plot, a lot of unfinished projects, but at the same time I am quite happy with how certain areas on my plot have turned out. So let's get back to the front. So yeah, looking at the plot from up here then, as you can see this huge area here, as well as this area here, I was kind of leaving empty just because, you know, we didn't know what was going with animal husbandry, and a lot of us had assumed that we'd have them on our current plots, or at least they wouldn't be on a separate plot from our home. And so, yeah, I wanted to leave those areas empty so I could figure out what exactly I wanted to do. But now, knowing that animal husbandry will be on a separate plot and their new housing building mechanics won't get to be applied to our current houses, I'm not quite sure what my game plan is. So I think I will still keep the Sunshine Cottage as I have it named here and try to figure out what I want to do, but I'm a little bit at a loss for how to change things up. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll finish this plot up at some point and I can do a new tour for it. But yeah, that's kind of how it looks. I do still love how my plot looks from this angle, as long as you don't look over here. And overall, I am pretty pleased with how far I've come in my house decorating, especially being a baby glitcher and learning a few things here and there. So yeah, I think overall I do plan on keeping this plot. I will remove some items that we aren't able to recraft, just so I can use them in whatever my new house will look like. But I guess I have a question for y'all. Do you plan on completely tearing down your plot, or will you keep your plot and, make a new one and kind of have that one be your main plot? I'm definitely curious to know what your plans are. I feel like things are kind of in the middle for everyone. They also plan on doing the same thing that I am, with keeping their current plot and then making an entirely new one. Because I don't know about you, but when I've gone in towards so many different plots, I've seen all the hard work that people have put into it, and it just breaks my heart to think that those would be torn down, because it kind of shows in some ways the long way that Palia has come so far, because we still are in early access. It's not at the point of being completely done just yet. And so keeping our plots in these stages kind of is a great memory piece, and getting to look back and reflect on the journey that we've been in our Palia gameplay. Yeah, I guess I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below, and the excitement that you basically have for the new Palia update. I certainly am extremely excited and can't wait to see how everything turns out. I am so excited for animal husbandry and getting all the cute little critters, getting to go and breed them, and maybe getting a concept of shiny pets. So we'll see how things go. But if you enjoyed this video, if you liked getting to see a very, very work in progress home, maybe leave a house emote in the comments down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and always remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye, friends.